Poblach na Huron, the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic to the people of Ireland. Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood, Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through her open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizens' Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment, and supported by her exiled children in America and by gallant allies in Europe, but by relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms. Standing on that fundamental right and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world, we hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to, and hereby claims the allegiance of every Irish man and Irish woman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunity to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and all of its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government which have divided a minority from the majority in the past. Until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government representative of the whole people of Ireland and elected by the suffrages of all her men and women, the Provisional Government hereby constituted will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust of the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we invoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one that serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Thomas J. Clark, Sean McDermott, Thomas McDonough, P.H. Pearce, Eamon Kent, James Connolly, Joseph Plunkett.
Our main speaker today really doesn't need an introduction. He's no stranger to you, he's no stranger to Belfast. In fact, when we walked up the road, we were lamenting or reflecting that the people who are buried in these graves in this sacred place are not simply names. They're people who he knew personally, who he's in prison with, who served the Republican struggle with. So I want you to give him a big welcome, Conor Murphy.
It's an honour a Féin Shaw, live in you or Labra Shaw. It's a great privilege for me to be asked to address the Belfast Easter Commemoration and to honour the many Republican patriots that this graveyard holds. I also want to pay tribute to their families who continue to feel the loss of their loved ones. We will continue to stand in solidarity with you. The opening line of the proclamation affirms the commitment of Republicans always have had to the dead generations who have gone before us. And I would also like to acknowledge the work of the National Graves Association, who for many, many years have fundraised, built and maintained these very fitting monuments to our Republican dead. Gormila Mayagav Galer. We gather at every Easter at commemorations all over Ireland and across the world to remember all those who have struggled for Irish freedom, and to recommit ourselves to achieving a sovereign and independent All-Ireland Republic based on equality and social justice. To the Republic that was proclaimed in 1916 on the steps of the GPO by Irish Republicans, Socialists, Feminists and Irish language activists who had come together in a revolutionary effort to liberate Ireland. The context in which we pursue these goals has changed over the years and continues to evolve today. So we must continue to adapt to meet the challenges we face and keep our eyes firmly fixed on the prize. But the commitment to the political, social and economic vision set out in the Proclamation of the Republic remains constant. The historical moment we face today is full of opportunity. Old certainties that sustained this state and the southern states are collapsing, and seismic change is happening before our eyes. More and more people are seriously engaged in the debate about constitutional change, and they're being won over to the social and economic case for Irish unity. The referendum to achieve that should be held before the end of this decade, so the time to prepare is now. The Irish Government has acknowledged the extent of the change that is happening, but has done little to plan for Irish unity. We need a structured forum for discussion that is organised and resourced by an Irish Government, where everyone is included, everyone gets to share their ideas, their hopes and their ambitions. We need a citizens' assembly. We need Sinn Féin in government in Dublin. Just 8 weeks ago, the DUP finally ended their boycott of the Good Friday Agreement institutions, and Michelle O'Neill, Las Uachtaráin Sinn Féin, a Republican woman from County Tyrone, took up the office of First Minister. In a state created to ensure a permanent unionist majority, the election of an Irish Republican First Minister in the North is a historic moment and symbolises the unstoppable momentum for change. Michelle pledged to be a First Minister for all, and she is honouring that pledge every day. But we know the Executive and the Assembly will continue to face huge challenges in the time ahead, due to 12 years of relentless cuts to public funding from a bankrupt Tory government. Michelle and our Finance Minister, Keith Archibald, will lead the fight with the British Treasury to secure the necessary funding to protect our public services and those who work in them. Our approach to government is to deliver equality, social justice, economic prosperity for all, and to look after those in need, the opposite of the Tories. We will strive to do our best to work together to deliver for all the people of the North, but ending the link to a failing, austerity-driven British state cannot come soon enough. That appetite for political change is palpable across Ireland. Old power structures of Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil that have lasted 100 years are coming to an end, with a new generation determined to end the Tweedledum and Tweedledee politics. Little wonder the Southern establishment are doing all they can to avoid an election. Rearranging the deck chairs with some new faces might postpone the democratic rights of the people, but it will not change the policies that brought so much misery to so many. Sinn Féin wants to be in government. We want to lead a government that transforms our health service, builds homes and puts Irish reunification at the heart of its agenda. That is our ambition. This year, the local and European elections will take place in the 26 counties, a Westminster election here in the north, and there's a very real prospect of a 26-county general election. I know many of you will join us in all of these campaigns. We are an All-Ireland party who intend to drive the momentum for change, for unity in all 32 counties. Electoral success has brought us closer and closer to our goal of freedom. TDs, Shanadori, councillors, MEPs, MLAs and MPs are all part of a broader team of activists that has grown by the day, driven by an ambition to see self-determination and a better future for our country and all its people. This is not the time to be passive. This is the time to be an activist, a time to seize the moment in what could be one of the most significant years in the lifetime of our struggle. We are also internationalists who want economic and social justice for people across the world. We have always been active in solidarity with other struggles against imperialism and oppression. For 6 months now, the Irish people have watched in horror at the unfolding genocide in Gaza. A horror that has eclipsed the decades of oppression, dispossession, imprisonment and violence inflicted on Palestinians by Israel and its international allies. Sinn Féin has stood unequivocally with the people of Gaza and the West Bank. At home, within the EU institutions and in the recent visit to the United States, we have unapologetically raised the obscenity of Gaza genocide and called for political leaders to use their influence to secure an immediate ceasefire. Sinn Féin has called on the Irish Government to support South Africa's case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. Sinn Féin's and Ireland's long history of solidarity and support for the cause of freedom and self-determination for the Palestinians will always endure, and we will remain active, as we always have, until they secure their freedom. Comrades, the 1916 Proclamation remains the mission statement of modern Irish republicanism. It is a freedom charter for the whole of this island and for all the people who live here. It is a declaration of social and economic commitment to a rights-based society in which the people are sovereign. Sinn Féin's central political aim is to deliver the type of Ireland envisaged at Easter week 1916. We have achieved considerable positive change across the island in recent decades. Much more has yet to be achieved. Let us go forward with confidence that will make greater change in the time ahead. Then we will realise the progressive Republican vision of 1916, a free and united Ireland. Then, as Bobby said, we will see the rising of the moon. Go raibh maith agah go léir.